Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I've got 4 no-cook dinner ideas to share with you. I don't know about where you live, but here in Tennessee, one may think that we're, getting out of July into August, the weather's going to cool down, it's, turning into fall. No, not here. August is usually one of the most miserable months. It is so hot and so humid. And so today I wanted to share these no-cook dinner ideas with you. There's no cooking to these, none at all. Not microwaving, stovetop, oven, grill, air fryer, toaster, no cooking at all. So let's get into these ideas. Now, before I get into these recipes, I do want to say I didn't follow any recipes specifically. I did take some inspiration from some things I found on Pinterest, so I will link everything in the description box below for you. First up, we're going to make some Caprese chicken wraps. Here are the ingredients that I'm going to use. First up, I've got some romaine hearts. You can use any kind of lettuce you prefer or what you've got on hand. Next, I have a tomato. This is an heirloom tomato that I got at the grocery store. I have some fresh sliced mozzarella cheese. You could do a ball of mozzarella that you cut up, or you could just use shredded mozzarella. You could also use the sliced mozzarella, just like you get the other sliced cheeses in your local deli for sandwiches. I have some chicken deli meat. Now, you could use leftover chicken in this. You could do a rotisserie chicken, pick one up from the grocery store and shred that up. I've got some fresh basil here. If you don't have fresh, you could just use dried or maybe a little pesto. I'm going to use some balsamic glaze. And then I bought this Hellmann's Italian mayonnaise, I don't know, a month or two ago. It was on sale and I had a coupon for it. It's new. And I decided I would try it on this wrap and see how it went. And then for the wrap, I've just got a tortilla. You can use whatever wrap you like, or you could turn this into a sandwich and use bread. So I'm going to lay out my tortilla. I'm going to add some of that herb and garlic mayonnaise. And like I said, I just picked this up because it was on sale and I had a coupon. I wanted to try it. But you could just use regular mayonnaise and add some Italian seasonings to it. I'm going to lay down some of that chicken deli meat, followed by the mozzarella slices. Next, I laid down my lettuce, and then I took that fresh basil and just tore it up with my hands and added it on top of the lettuce. Then I'm going to add my tomatoes. I sliced these up and then cut each slice into half just to make it easier to fit in the wrap. And then I'm going to season up my tomatoes with a little bit of salt and pepper. Last but not least, I'm going to take that balsamic glaze and drizzle that on top. I mean, really, that's optional. A little drizzle, I think, of olive oil would be good on this. You could do a little drizzle of balsamic vinegar, or you could just leave it off entirely. Once I've got that added, I'm going to roll up the wrap, and then that's it. That is done. And here is Gary's plate. Mine looked exactly the same. We've got the wrap, and then earlier that day I went into the grocery store for something and I just picked up some Greek pasta salad from the deli. You could serve this with really anything: chips, pasta salad, you could do a side salad, veggies, fruit, hummus, whatever you like. But this wrap was really good. We really enjoyed it. The combination of the herby mayonnaise with the fresh tomato and the balsamic glaze and the basil was just really yummy. Very, very fresh. Next up, I'm going to make some shrimp salad. And like I always say, you're in your kitchen. You make things how you like them. So if I'm using something you don't like or you don't have on hand, if you've got something else, feel free. You don't need my permission. Swap it out. Here's what I'm going to use today. I've got some celery, mayonnaise, fresh lemon juice, salt and pepper, Old Bay, some fresh dill. You'll need some sort of cooked shrimp. I'm using this cocktail ring. That's just what I had in my freezer. I allowed it to thaw. And then to serve this up, I'm going to use some hot dog buns. Okay, let me show you how to put this together. Now, if you forget to thaw your shrimp, or if it's like mine was and still had a little bit of ice crystals on it, you can take the shrimp, pop it into a colander, and run some cool water over it for maybe 3 to 5 minutes or so, and it'll thaw right out for you. You just want to make sure that you drain the water off really well and pat it really dry with some paper towels. I removed the tails, and then I sliced these shrimp up in half. Now, you can just use, you don't have to do a cocktail ring like I'm doing, obviously. Again, that's just what I had on hand. You can can buy the bagged, already cooked frozen shrimp in your frozen section or in the seafood section of your grocery store. So next I'm going to add in some celery. If you've been with me for a while, you may be like, Megan, you don't like celery. You are correct. I'm making this for Gary. So once I've added in the celery, I'm going to add in some of that fresh chopped dill. If you don't have fresh on hand, just use dried. Just use less of the dried than the fresh. And then you can just skip the dill altogether if you're not a big fan of it. I'm going to season this with some salt and pepper and then Old Bay. Just seasoned it to taste. I added just a little squeeze of fresh lemon along with a little bit of mayonnaise. I probably used like maybe 2 tablespoons to begin with. I gave it a stir. I felt like it needed just a touch more mayonnaise, so I added another maybe half a tablespoon or so. Give that a really good mix, and then that's it. You can eat this right away, or you can pop it in the fridge for a little bit. This is what it looked like when it was done. Now you can add some like purple onion to this if you want. Play around with different seasonings, but this was good. I actually tried it. I didn't try the celery, of course, but I thought it was really good, and Gary really enjoyed this. So like I said, to serve this up, I'm using hot dog buns to go along with the no cook theme tonight. I just left the hot dog buns plain. You could butter and toast them up if you would like. I did garnish this with a little extra dill and a little sprinkling of Old Bay, and then just super simple, served it up with some of the cheddar sun chips, and yeah, that was it. Super quick and easy, and like I said, it was really yummy. Next up were pesto turkey pinwheels. Here are the ingredients that I'm going to use to make these. I've got some lettuce, store-bought pesto, and a quick tip, you can get pesto. I used to get it all the time from the Dollar Tree, and it's actually really good. And it's only, well, excuse me, the $1.25 tree, but it's pretty affordable and it's delicious. I've got a little bit of cream cheese. I have the whipped kind on hand, so I'm going to use that to use this up, but you can use regular cream cheese. You'll just want to let it soften. I've got some shredded Parmesan cheese I want to use up, so I'm going to use that. You could do grated Parmesan cheese. And then here, I apologize, this deli meat is chicken deli meat, but after I got this picture, I noticed that I had grabbed the chicken instead of turkey, so I swapped that out later, but you really could use either or. And then you need some kind of wrap. You can use a tortilla. I found these lavash breads. I used to love the flat out breads, and they stopped making those, which I was kind of bummed about, but these lavash had a very, very similar taste and texture to the flat out wraps. So if you liked those flat out wraps, give these a try. I think I found these at either Walmart or Food Lion. All right, let me show you how to make these real quick. So first up, in a small bowl, I've got my cream cheese, and again, I'm using whipped. I just gave it a little stir to add some air into it. If you forget to set out your cream cheese, you can pop it into the microwave on defrost for about 10 seconds. Just be careful. You're not trying to cook it. You just want to soften it up. Next, I'm going to add in my pesto, and I just eyeballed everything. I think I found a recipe for this that I kind of loosely followed. I, of course, will have it linked down below for you. This would be a great way to use up homemade pesto. I think it was last summer I shared how to make homemade pesto. I'll link that video down in the description box below for you. I think this would be delicious in this. So I'm going to take my flatbread, wrap, tortilla, whatever you're using. I'm going to spread that pesto cream cheese layer out, and then I'm going to add my lettuce. I think this is green leaf lettuce, I believe. Use whatever kind of lettuce you like. I think spinach would also be really good in this. Next, I'm going to lay down my turkey, and I didn't have quite enough turkey as what I wanted, so I added a slice of that chicken deli meat I mentioned earlier. That's it. We're just going to wrap this up. You do want to wrap it kind of tightly, and once we've got it wrapped, I'm going to wrap this in some plastic wrap. Again, you want to wrap it really tightly. You're going to pop this into the refrigerator for about an hour. You can make these like the night before, and if you want to take these to lunch, or you can make them in the morning if you want to have them for dinner, but you're just allowing that cream cheese to set up. And I apologize, I forgot to mention this. I did show it, but just in case you're listening along and not necessarily watching, I did add in some of that shredded Parmesan cheese to the cream cheese and pesto mixture. Now, to go along with this, I decided to do a little watermelon feta salad. So here's what I'm going to use to make it. I'd bought some watermelon at the grocery store already cut up, but I'm going to cut it into smaller dices. I've got some feta cheese. I'm going to use a little balsamic glaze and some fresh basil. You could also add in some purple onion if you would like. You can add greens. Like, I think this would be really good with arugula, but I just eyeballed everything. Like I said, I diced the watermelon up, added some of the feta, chopped the basil, and added a drizzle of that balsamic vinegar. Now, this is what the wrap looks like after it's done, same as it did before we put it in. All I'm going to do is slice these up into pinwheels, and then that's it. These are ready to serve. I just had that along with the watermelon feta salad. I had this the same day that Gary had the shrimp salad sandwiches. And yeah, these little pesto pinwheels were delicious. I loved the flavor. Gary liked them as well. And that watermelon feta salad, if you've never had it before, you might think it's a little weird, but I'm from the South and we love putting salt on our watermelon, and so the saltiness with the watermelon, it just goes so perfectly together. So if you've never had this combination before, give it a try. I really think you'll like it. Last but not least, I'm making chicken Caesar sandwiches. Here's what I'm going to use to make these. First up, I've got some lettuce. Now, I would have rather have used romaine lettuce, but I had green leaf on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. That's totally fine. I've got some Caesar dressing. I like the canned Caesar. You could, of course, use homemade or your favorite bottled. For the bread, I'm using ciabatta rolls. I had these in the freezer. I let them thaw. You can use whatever bread you like, or you could turn these into a wrap. For the cheese, I think the recipe that I saw for this called for Colby Jack. I had sliced cheddar, so that's what I'm going to use. You could do provolone. You could do like sliced mozzarella. Then I've got aroma tomato I'm going to slice up. And finally, I've got some chicken deli meat. I got this, at the deli counter, but I also find it just with the other lunch meat. You could also use leftover chicken, like if you've cooked it earlier in the week, and you've already cooked the chicken, it's been in the fridge, you can just pull it out, use it on the sandwich. Or you could use a rotisserie chicken and just, shred it or chop it up and add it to the sandwich. Now I'm ready to assemble my sandwiches. Super easy. I've got these ciabatta rolls, and I find with ciabatta rolls they're scored, but I typically have to take a knife and go around them to pull them apart. I'm going to add some of the Caesar dressing, and you do want to be kind of generous with this. Ciabatta sometimes can read a little bit on the dry side, and with the lettuce and the chicken and everything, you want to have a good little covering. I decided to add a sprinkle of shredded Parmesan cheese, again, just trying to use this up. And then when I have Caesar salads, I love fresh cracked black pepper on them. So I decided to add a little sprinkling of that. I'm going to add my lettuce and tomato, and then season the tomato with a little bit of salt and pepper. Next, I'm going to lay down a slice of that cheese, followed by my chicken, and then that's it. I'm going to place the lid or the top of the roll, and then the sandwich is done. Now, to go along with this, I found this mango lemonade chopped kit. This is from Taylor Farms. This is a limited seasonal edition, and I just thought, with summertime, the heat, the mango lemonade would be good to try. So here is the plate. We've got the sandwich and then this salad, and the sandwich was delicious. So good. The salad mixture, both Gary and I tried it. It wasn't bad, but it was interesting. and I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way. I mean, it tasted what it's like. It had little pieces of dried mango in it, and then the vinaigrette was a very, very lemony vinaigrette, so you definitely tasted like the mango lemonade. And like I said, it wasn't bad. It was different. But if you love like really acidic, bright vinaigrettes, I think you'd really like this. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. I hope you got some new things to try for some no-cook dinners, or, these would be great for lunches as well. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.